Hmm. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Front Foot special interview. Today we have a special guest on our show. She is a journalist, she is an anchor, she was an actor, she is a geopolitical expert, and she is also a cricket lover. From the Los Angeles, we have Preity Upala ma'am. Preity Upala ma'am, first of all, welcome to the Front Foot. How are you?
Namaste, Gaurav, and namaste to your amazing audience. And thank you for having me on Front Foot Official Podcast. I am so excited to be here on your show.
Yes, yes. We are also very excited, and our viewers continuously asking us about you. So finally, we got your time, and we are preparing show now. So, ma'am, first of all, we will talk about cricket later. But first of all, tell about your journey. Tell us, our viewer, how do you start your career, and what are your future plannings now? Tell us about you.
Oh wow, what a thank you again for having me on your show and asking me about my journey, which is very varied and unique. I was a banker in Australia. I gave corporate world to follow my dream of working in the creative arts. So that brought me to America, to New York, and I studied film and acting, and then I have been working in the film industry for the past 10 years. But other than that, I also do a lot of other things. I'm
Mhm.
a professional speaker and I speak around the world on different topics, um, usually things like spirituality, dharma, purpose, empowerment, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I write, of course, for various publications, again on things like politics, but also culture, spirituality, and so on. And I'm writing a book. It'll be my first book, so I'm excited. But on top of that, I have my own show called the Preity Experience. It's in a
Yes,
TV
yes.
format as well as it's an audio podcast too. And finally, I'm based here in Hollywood. I live in Los Angeles. I'm developing a TV show for the Hollywood studios here. So that's something that I'm very excited about, and hopefully the show will be coming out soon. It's just a matter of getting the right people on board and the right topic and stuff. It's in development, so I look forward to that. And the cricket, of course, I've been following cricket my whole life, being an Indian, and I
Oh,
obviously I'm passionate about it. I watch other sports too, but recently, since this India Australia series, I think I realized what a powerful moment that was in Test cricket history, especially Indian cricket history, and I added sports to my brand, which includes politics, business, and spirituality. So now sports is a new addition, specifically cricket. And I feel
yes.
that my role in it is a unique one, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Right, right, ma'am. First of all, I want to tell our viewers, Preeti ma'am also have her own YouTube channel, name as Preity Experience. You also go and subscribe to her channel also. So now, coming back to the cricket, recently we have seen India versus Sri Lanka series, especially ODI series. India is touring Sri Lanka. Everybody was hoping for 3-0 and 6-0 from the first day since India land there. But Sri Lanka show very good fight from the second ODI. First ODI, India completely dominate there. But in second ODI, they fight very hard. And in third ODI, they completely balled out India. So, what is your review about this series? Are you happy with this performance, or you want some changes in the team?
Oh, wow, great question. Great series. In the beginning, I thought, do we even need this, considering IPL had just been postponed and there was also an outbreak of COVID in Sri Lanka as well. And I thought they might not even have this series in the end, and it got postponed a little bit. Now looking back, I think it was the right thing to do to go ahead with it. I'm very pleased because we have India A, B, and C now. You know, we have like three different teams, and any one of these teams, if they really deliver and work as a unit, they can take on, I think, anyone. So I think it's pleasing to know how much talent there is in this country, how much young talent there is, and also how much diverse talent. Because now we're seeing young players from little towns in India, which didn't happen 10, even 10, 15 years ago. So it's pleasing that they're getting the best of the best from every corner of this amazing country. And in the smallest of towns, you can find, you know, your next superstar. I think in this, the lesson that we can take away from this series is never be overconfident. Yes, we are an amazing T20
Yeah.
team, probably one of the best in the world. And but yet we got so closely, um, you know, I mean, of course, the T20 is coming, but I mean, even ODI, right? We are, you know, one of the best in the world, if not the best. And yet, a team like Sri Lanka gave us a run for its money, right? In the last in the last two games. So we must realize that don't rest on your laurels. Always keep fighting, and always when you're going on an away game, the home team, no matter which one it is, will always have some kind of an advantage. I'm happy for Sri Lanka that they got that one win because they had to wait 9 years for it. I think for
Yeah.
from an Indian perspective, they were some winners, and there were others that need to go back and see what they did wrong. I'm pleased to
Hmm.
see both of the Chahar brothers. I think they were the real find. Sky, as always, keeps performing and you know, proving why he is such a great contender for both ODI and the T20 formats. Dhawan, great to see him be the, you know, captain India, and he can officially say that he's done that. Yeah, you know, so they were Shaw got a fantastic opportunity too, and you know, we had a bunch of people who really got, you know, I mean, five debutants. That's huge. That's amazing, and I'm proud to see this Indian team giving so many chances to debutants, because for too long it's been the same old, you know, players who nobody wants to replace them. And
Yeah.
it, I think India can go back very proud with this series, and they did win the series. So a win is a win. Doesn't matter if it was pretty or not. I think they deserved it, and they should be very proud of themselves.
Exactly, exactly. Sri Lanka also played well in this series, and that's what we want to see, the fight in this game. Ma'am, I want to ask you, which youngster impressed you most in this ODI series, and which player disappointed you most?
Ooh, oh my! I must say, for me, um, the player that impressed me the most, definitely for me, was Deepak Chahar, just because he
Yeah,
single-handedly, almost single-handedly saved that second match and won the series pretty much for us, because it was so tight. Imagine if we had lost that and then we lost. I mean, we would have lost the series to a very weak Sri Lanka, right? So he saved
yeah,
our faces, I think. He's a fantastic bowler that needs his shot. I think both in the ODI national, you know, official team, as well as the official World Cup T20 team. I think he is the bowler for that format coming up. And but we've seen. I didn't realize he could bat that well, and he could hold his nerve. It was more a matter of holding your nerve and getting through the finish line, and not really about scoring, because they had, you know, they had the time. They just had to make sure that they get there. And so he impressed me the most, I think. Disappointing was, I think so, you know, it's like the players are a little inconsistent, right? The one
hmm,
game they're brilliant, uh, you know, including Shikhar Dhawan himself is brilliant in one, the other went out
yeah,
cheaply. So I think they need to just don't. Hey, if you get out, at least go out in style. Go out saving a match or trying to hit a six or something like that. But don't go out cheaply, slip catches, and LBWs and things like that. So I think they can do a little better with sort of being choose the balls wisely and leave the bad ones, I would say.
Exactly the point, ma'am. But this is a young team. They will improve as they play much. So ODI series is over now. Coming back to the T20s now. This is a year of T20 World Cup. So which players you want to see in the T20 series and which players you don't want to see? Uh, can you tell me three names that you want to see them playing in India team?
Are you talking about the T20 series between India and Sri Lanka? Which players?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes. T20
so
and yes, yes. Players
okay,
to watch out for.
okay. So for this upcoming series against Sri Lanka, let's see. Definitely, Sky has to be there. I want to see Deepak Chahar. I think he can do some magic for sure. So those two players. I mean, I'm not a. I don't know if Yuzvendra Chahal is meant to be. I think him and Kuldeep. I think it's time to maybe look for other options. So,
Hmm.
especially Yuzvendra Chahal, I think we have better bowlers, to be honest, and he cannot contribute with the bat at all. I think he's going to be a weakest link. So and then I think with your openers, you can maybe experiment a little bit. And
Yeah,
are you going to Shaw? I want to see. Even Samson is very good. I know he's not very consistent, but
hmm.
in his peak form, he is pretty spectacular, and he's again leadership material. He's a captain. He's quite a rare kind of a all rounder almost in a way, and I think he needs to be groomed a little bit, and he needs to be given chances on a bigger level. So I'd like to see him, um, get a shot. I think the selectors need to understand that nobody's place is guaranteed. I think the mistake they're making is they're saying, well, these are our best five players, and of course we can't drop them. Of course we must have them. And I think even when they're not performing, they get a chance and they take the place of maybe a young player or another player who actually is in form and will deliver, right? So they need to kind of every place must be justified, which is not the Indian way, I think, but other teams do it. They have no issues dropping even their best player, right? If he
Yeah.
hasn't performed, because you're only as good as your last game, especially in these kind of formats. So they need to, I think, be honest about who's in form and who is not in form, and take chances. This is your opportunity to experiment.
Okay, ma'am. Exactly. In openers, which two openers you want to see to opening for India?
Ooh, I think Shaw would be great. I don't know
Hmm.
if Shaw and Sampson might be good opener. I mean, is he an opener? Yeah, he's open for
I
his
think
team,
he
I
is
guess.
considered for middle order also because
Yeah,
he is not
probably he
opening
can.
for Rajasthan Royals in IPL. And
Yeah.
in this Indian team, we already have Ruturaj Gaikwad and Devdutt Padikkal as
You
opening
know what?
option.
Those
So
are the
it's
two rising stars from the IPL, actually. I'd love to see
hmm.
them open. I don't know if that's the best combination. I've never seen them open before. They are the two best rising stars, I would say. So I don't know. Maybe they might be the next great pair from different IPL teams as well. So I think there might be some chemistry there. I don't know. I'd like to see them open for one of the games and see how that goes.
And in spinners, you don't want to see Yuzvendra Chahal right now. So which spinners you want to replace him? Varun Chakravarti or Rahul Chahal?
Definitely Rahul Chahar. I think Rahul Chahar, like his cousin, uh, look, these
Hmm.
both of these brothers are spectacular, right? I mean, I think Rahul is going to go on to, given the chance, I think he could be a little weapon. Remember, he is the main bowler in for his team. and he does phenomenal. And I mean, if he's good enough for his IPL team, who are champions, I think he's good enough for the for against Sri Lanka. He's good enough for the World Cup. I'd like to see him get more chances. I think Sakaria is also a talent. I think again, if groomed properly, he can really deliver. And there are some other bowlers who we're not seeing here. Bishnoi and Brar, they also are. I mean, Brar, so I think slowly the BCCI should groom these. We've got a handful. We probably have, I don't know, between 5 and 10 great new bowlers coming up. They all need attention.
Yeah, exactly. Right, ma'am. We have a lot of bowlers in domestic who are doing great. So this second cycle of IPL, which is remaining, it will be a golden opportunity for them to prove themselves. So now, ma'am, coming back to the viewers' questions, I got plenty of questions on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter,
Okay,
but
bring
I
it on,
selected
baby.
few. Yes, but I selected few from which are cricket perspective. So first question from my friend Bimal Sharma. He is asking, who is your best all-rounder of all time?
Ooh, all rounder. Okay, so for me, I mean,
Hmm.
does the all rounder have to be a batsman bowler, or can it be a wicket keeper batsman?
Batsman bowler.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because everybody know who is your wicket keeper all-rounder is.
I mean,
So
I think the
everybody knows
whole
that.
world knows, and there's a billion other people who also think that he's their pick as well. I never thought about that all rounder. I mean, look, I like Jadeja a lot. I don't think he's the best all time, but I'm a big fan of his. Right, so I'm gonna go with him.
Okay, Ravindra Jadeja. Vibhav Srivastava asking, should CSK retain Suresh Raina for the next cycle of IPL?
Wow. So I don't know if these retaining, like, what are the rules? Do they retain him for 1 year? Is it 3 years? I don't know what the situation is. If it's 1 year, absolutely. In fact, if you ask any CSK fan who they want to see as the next captain post MSD, a lot of people immediately they will say either Suresh Raina or they will say
But
Jadeja, right?
but I want to say one thing. Suresh Raina already confirmed that if
That he would
MSD retires,
retire with, I know.
immediately.
Yeah,
So
and I think
we
he's
have to
going
say that.
to remember. He retired from the ODI format on the same day
Yeah.
as MSD retired too. So I sense because they're so close, they would probably end in the same year, whichever that happens to be. Um, for 1 more year, yes. I don't see 3 years. I don't even think he'd want to do that. I think he probably wants to move on to other things. And I think CSK is I mean, it's my favorite team. They
Yeah.
deserve the best. And honestly, there's some fantastic players up for grabs. So I think CSK should be open-minded and creative and be a little think outside the box and get someone who they wouldn't normally get.
Okay. Laksh Sharma is asking your views on Virat's captaincy.
Okay, I am critical. I don't think that, firstly, I'm not a fan of having the same captain for all formats. It doesn't work. Country like India with so many people and such diverse teams, I think you need different leadership. I think that for the T20 format, absolutely, I think Rohit Sharma would be the one to lead the Indian team. ODI, well, one could say there are some options there too, but I would separate. I think, I think T20 you could leave it to somebody like a Rohit Sharma, and maybe Virat could focus on the test and the ODI. To be honest, I think if he just gave up captaincy and wanted to be just focus on his batting, that might be better for him and the Indian team. He might not want to be in a position to do that. I don't think that the selectors want to either. But I think that they should separate the different formats and lessen his load. I feel like he's under way too much pressure, and he's ending up not really performing much in as far as the captaincy goes. You know, in any of them.
But I slightly disagree on that. His numbers are very good as a captain, means as a player. In under his captaincy, he played good, but that's not the point. He's not winning
Yep,
the trophies. That's the point. And if he failed to win this T20 World Cup, then definitely he should resign as
yes,
a captain, at least
agreed,
in T20 format.
agreed.
Yeah. And adding to that, whom you are seeing after Virat as a ODI captain for Indian team, after Virat Kohli?
For me, I think
Because
Rishabh
Rohit
Pant.
Sharma is older than Virat, so I think it's difficult that they will go with Rohit Sharma in ODIs.
Yeah,
I
because it's
think
the
they will
same.
bring some young.
Rohit Sharma isn't that much younger than Kohli either. So you have to understand that there'll be a few players kind of retiring kind of around the same time. For me, I've always seen Rishabh Pant as the future captain of India, definitely for Test. Um,
Hmm.
ODI, uh, we must keep an open mind. There are
Hmm.
other players who will show, I think, some nerves of steel, some real the heart, and yeah, I think you need that. You need a great cricketing mind, but I think you need um, leadership. You need to be able to inspire people and sort of get everybody on the same page. There are some other contenders, but I see Rishabh Pant as a fantastic captain for tests, at least moving forward. He's young, but I know he's up for the job. But also, I think the way that the rate at which these young talent is coming out of India in the next 2-3 years, there'll be new names. I mean, you have, who knows, Padikal and Gaikwad, how are they going to sort of prove themselves? Are they going to end up being amazing leaders in their own capacity? We don't know, right? So, and Samson is one. Shaw is another. I don't think he's. I think you need somebody who's a bit more um, assertive. I'd say Samson over Shaw for captaincy because he already is captaining a side, so he has that experience. Then
Exactly.
people will say Shreyas Iyer. I mean, I think we have some people to pick from.
Exactly, ma'am. Next question is from John, right? Now we are going to T20 World Cup. Who are, do you think India and England are worthy favorites for T20 World Cup? And his second question is, what is the future of the Test cricket when white ball franchises have a money and densely populate the global calendar?
Okay, so no, I don't think that India are favorite just because I think the UAE pitches will suit them, and also they're technically hosting it, even though it's not held in India. Um, England, I mean, I don't think UAE pitches would suit them. However, they do have great spinners. From that aspect, it might suit them. I would say that there are four countries that are going to make it to, I guess, let's say the top four. And then it's really anybody's game on the day who shows up. And I'm going to throw Pakistan in there. Honestly, I'd almost say that Pakistan has a better shot in Dubai pitches than England, considering the recent performance, because that's when they come alive and they just get the job done. And remember, UAE is the home of the PCB in many ways, right? They're very
Yeah,
used to those conditions. I'd say India, England, Pakistan, and West Indies are probably the four
top.
that are going to make it. I'd love to see an India Pakistan final, actually, and see,
Everybody will
that
love to
would
see
be
that.
the match of the century. And
Exactly.
I know I'd be so happy to watch that, and I would say India would win that match easily.
Okay. Everybody hopes so. Next question is from Samu Gope. Why isn't ICC able to promote cricket more aggressively to other parts of the world? I see your recent interview with a player from Sierra Leone.
Yes.
So you can answer this question very good. So please go ahead.
Yeah, and realized that I didn't answer the second part of the first question. Uh, you know what? Yes,
Yeah.
great point. The more you fill the calendar with all kinds of tournaments, I think you dilute the value. So I'm not a big fan of having, every country having its own IPL or own franchise tournaments. It doesn't work. And if, like, with the 100, for example, there are no Indian players, right? So
No.
I mean, I don't know if you're watching it. I'm not. I don't know any Indian fan who is. So that's 90% of the market isn't interested. Yes, you can finagle your way through TV rights for the time being. In the long run, it's not going to be profitable. I think that countries need to try to invest in good cricket, and don't
Ex-
just dilute the whole situation. You'll end up losing fans. The ICC doesn't care about other parts of the world, because they get
Just
they
click on
get
OK.
uh, they get all of their revenue from a handful of countries, and then they get, what, 70% of the revenue probably from one country, which is India, right? If I get the
Exactly.
numbers right. So why would they bother trying to promote cricket in Sierra Leone when it's just, I mean, they really should, I mean, it's technically played in 200 countries. It's one of the most
Hmm.
global sports in the world after soccer. I think you
Hmm.
should promote it more, at least, support in whatever way you can, and make it exciting and hot in different continents, South America, Africa, whatever. And then you'll see the whole world, kind of go crazy about it, the way I guess these 8 countries do. So, but
E-
the answer to the question is, they haven't promoted it because there has not been a need to promote it.
Exactly, but they are increasing the number of teams in the ICC events. That's a good step taken by the ICC, according to me. So moving on to the next question, Sanu is asking you top five best IPL players of all time.
Okay. Well, I remember posting this on Twitter, and I was very shocked to see some of the names in this lineup. And I thought, I mean, they were naming people who played, they started playing a year ago, you know. So I don't know what to think about these people. For me, this is in no order, but let me start. Definitely,
Hmm.
you need a Suresh Raina. He is one of the
Exactly.
consistently, for since the inception of he's like Mr. Mini IPL, so you need a
Yeah.
Suresh Raina, absolutely. Um, you need see, oh, Chris Gale, he is, again, universe boss. You can't have IPL and not have the universe boss. It's
Yes.
definitely
Exactly.
that. You need you need Mr. 360, who is AB de Villiers. Again, you can't think about IPL and not think about ABD. Absolutely. Um, I'm gonna throw in. I mean, the other spot. There's a few players I would say. I'm actually going to throw in Shane Watson, just because I think there have been matches where he single-handedly won games for
Yes.
CSK,
Yes.
and he actually won a couple of finals for CSK. So he is a phenomenal
One of
T20
the
player.
greatest all-rounder in IPL history I have seen.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
will. I'll put Shane Watson in there, and of course the final spot goes to Mr. IPL himself, MSD. You can't talk about IPL over the last 13 years and not talk about Dhoni. He still holds, up until recently. I mean, he's still the guy who's got the most number of not outs. I think he's the Indian player with the most number of sixes. Um, the most capped player with the 200. It just goes on and on, right? And I think
Most number
in
of
many
matches
ways,
for yeah.
so I was going to say,
Most
in many
number of
ways,
matches as a captain.
yeah, for sure. But in many ways, uh, IPL is CSK, and CSK is IPL, and then CSK is Dhoni. So I think these three are so linked that when finally one breaks away, it's going to be very strange, And I wonder how that's going to look like.
Okay. Moving on the next question. Someone your fan name as a Preity Upala fan on Twitter. He is asking Rohit or Virat who is better in ODIs as a batsman.
Between Virat and who?
Rohit.
As a batsman or a captain?
As a batsman.
Wow, that's an interesting question. Well, for me, I mean, it would be MS, just because I'm a fan.
But MS is one option here. Rohit or Virat.
I didn't get the first option. It's Kohli, and who's the other player?
Rohit Sharma.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Virat or Dhoni. I said, oh, that's easy.
No, Virat.
Rohit Sharma. This is interesting. I'm going to have to say Kohli, because yes, Rohit Sharma is an incredible opener. Yes, he is. I would say I would compare them to Sehwag and Sachin Tendulkar. Sehwag in some ways was superior, right? He was stylish. He was the best opener. He was incredible. I mean, Sachin himself said, I would pay to watch Sehwag play, right? But then the world remembers Sachin Tendulkar, right? I don't think they remember Sehwag in the same way and globally. So I think the world will remember Kohli when all said and done, over a Rohit Sharma. And anyway, he has the runs and the centuries and the records to prove it. I would say he's a better batsman. I think Rohit Sharma is very stylish, and more consistent, I would say. And he never got the opportunity to captain India properly. So we don't know his captaincy, how that would have panned out.
Okay. We are just near to the end. Last couple of questions. Anand Aragi, my friend, wants to ask you which profession you like most: modeling, anchoring, or cricket analyst?
Probably none of them. Definitely not modeling. That's not a profession. I would say my dharma is to inspire and empower people through my work, which includes my writing and my speaking. And I love to teach, I think, and share knowledge and information. And, I don't know, I've had an interesting life. I've learned a lot. I've met people, I've traveled the world, and there's much wisdom that I'd like to impart and sort of, I don't know, talk about important topics that are happening in the world right now. So I see my job as an ambassador, as a teacher, somebody who broadcasts and expresses themselves more than just somebody who anchors or presents, and I enjoy political analysis as much as sport analysis. Yeah.
Next question is from Joy. He is asking, how do you rate Sachin Tendulkar's contribution in Indian cricket?
Ooh, phenomenal in so many ways. I mean, until they're broken, he does have, I think, he holds records that probably will never be broken. I mean, there's a reason why they say he's the god of cricket. No, he has been incredible for the sport. He's a wonderful human being. He's a very soft person, warm, and I think there's something about his personality and the real him, as a person off the pitch, which is great for the sport. It's been good for India. It's been good for sport globally. I wish he was more hands-on. I wish he when you look at a Saurav Ganguly or a Rahul Dravid, they're so hands-on. They are completely involved in the game. But Sachin, I think, has moved away from it, and he's not actively involved. And it would be nice if he was in some way, because I think he's just a great ambassador for the sport. I grew up watching him and admiring him. He has some great shots, and he has also won matches for India too in World Cups and so champion tournaments and so on. So I
Yeah.
think we all appreciate him.
Yes, exactly, ma'am. I started watching cricket in 2003 World Cup, and Sachin was phenomenal in that. So we are at the end question. Last question from the Samad Desai. He is asking, which is the closest World Cup match you have ever seen? Closest means most thriller match you have ever seen in the World Cup.
Ah, so now, does this game need to be a final, or can it be any?
Any game.
You know, I do. When you asked me the question, I had I had an answer in mind, but there's another one that came. So there's two. One
Okay.
is actually, I think it's tw 2015. It was a semi-final between South Africa and New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And
Yes,
was it
yes,
is it
phenomenal
Grant is
match.
it Grant Elliott? That was the guy who Superman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it was South Africa should have won that. They were
And
so, and we're talking came in and wow, the original answer was the 2011 World Cup, which was touch and go too until we got that six from Dhoni. So I think these three games are could have gone either way and very, very thrilling
yeah,
for sure.
exactly, ma'am. My answer also same. That match was very close, and I think Dale Steyn's career over after that match. Yeah.
That's true.
So that's all questions from our viewers. Now I want to ask you, how do you feel after coming here? How was about our conversation?
I loved it, but I have seen some of your episodes and you have like four different hosts, and I thought there would be four people and make it really dynamic. So I'm like, I was kind of getting ready for that, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. Next time.
Next time, definitely. Ma'am, before going, prediction for the England series: India winning it or
Ooh.
not?
Okay, so my prediction is it's going to be, I think if we draw it, it's
Hmm.
a good result for us. I see us drawing it at the very minimum. I don't know about
Okay.
winning, but I don't see us losing this if we play to if we make good selection choices and we don't collapse and it's not going to rain, if it's dry
Hmm.
and warm, I think we could draw this easily. I think the kind
Okay.
of team and the bowlers, the pace attack that we have today, we've probably never had. So, this is maybe our first chance to minimum, really draw this series I mean, draw England in a long time. Winning, I don't know. You must always aim for the stars and see where you land. But if you lose this, I think it's
Yeah.
disappointing with the kind of talent that you have. And remember, I think England are not going to have all of their best players. I think they will be missing some of their key players. So we might see a weak England team for once. And
Yeah.
I think India has a great shot.
Okay, exactly, ma'am. Before now, before going, as you are a MS Dhoni fan, we see lots of Dhoni fans abuses other players' fans like Virat Kohli's fans or Sachin Tendulkar, Rohit Sharma's fans. So, what message you want to give MS Dhoni fans?
But to them, I mean, they need to know that they have the best fan clubs on the planet. I mean, CSK is the most popular, IPL team in terms of followers online and offline. So they need to know that they got such a great family, and just keep supporting. And don't worry about the trolls and then those naysayers and so on. The records, I think, speak for themselves, and the numbers always speak for themselves, and we know what a legend Dhoni is. So keep going, and
But
you must.
they abuse. Sometimes they abuse other players. That's what I am talking
Excuse
about.
me, I would say that the RCB fans abuse the CSK fans, the the Kohli fans try. I think they're
All
very
those,
jealous.
I am talking about all, but you are MS Dhoni fans, so you should say to that MS Dhoni fans also.
Well, I
I
haven't
agree
seen
all fans doing it, but
everybody abuses each other, right? For me, this is my take on it. I think, and
hmm,
RCB and Kohli, you know, I'll use both of them because they're interlinked, right? So those fans, they haven't won anything, right? RCB has won zero. Kohli has won zero. You know, so they look at CSK and they look at a Dhoni that's won everything, and they're champions over the last decade, right? So I think there's this envy there, and they just can't get over the line, and they can't take it that this team has won so much. So I feel like their jealousy overcomes them. And then I think when you have the MI fans, it's different because they're champions and they think that they're better or whatever. But they're not that. I don't see the MI fans being that abusive. It's, you know,
also
I would
difficult.
say, you know what I love about IPL is that India wins every day. So it doesn't matter if it's CSK or RCB or MI or DC, they're all Indian teams. So the important thing is that Bharat wins. And we should always, and even if we have international players, it's an Indian domestic tournament. Never forget that, right? So, and that's why it's important to keep promoting IPL and make sure IPL, the brand of IPL, doesn't get diluted. You know, I think it's very
Yeah.
important.
So that's it. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much, Preity ma'am, from all of our front foot members team. Saksham Kado at the back end, Yakshit Kotian, our member, Artishman Mishra, you know him well. Also, we have Arno Verma, 12-year-old kid. Also, visit his channel. Also, he is very good and very talented kid. So, thanks from all of us, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. It was nice to conversation with you. And also, I want to say, my viewers, please go and subscribe Pretty Experience also. Link you will get in description. So, thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurav. You're amazing. You're such a great interviewer, and I've enjoyed myself on the show. And I can't wait to be back. And guys, check out my channel, subscribe, watch, enjoy, like, share, comment, ask me questions. Find me on Twitter is the Pretty Effect. I'm very active on social media, Instagram, everything. And I hope to hear from you soon. And guys, please share this video. Let's make it go viral, you know.
Exactly. So,
Namaste, guys.
thank,
Thank you so much.
thank you.